Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss detail of the software developer engineer work in the IT company. So request to watch the video up to in full career understanding. So let's move the next slide and start this session. So look, software developer engineer. The software developer and software engineer is responsible for designing, coding, testing, and maintaining the software application and system. They work on creating software solutions that meet the user requirement and solve the problem, enhance the business operation. So software developer or software engineer are mainly responsible for design a software and then code them and then testing the software and debugging the software, and then after the software developed, then they have responsibility to maintain the software, like maintain the application, update the things day by day or yearly by or month by month. So this is the work of the software. So let's see the role and responsibility. So first is the software designing and development. So first thing is the analyzer user need define the software requirement. Who the analyst there that need to gather the software requirement. That what the software needs to be do and what is the main focus on software. What is the solution you are finding that need to gathering, and then design and architect the software solution including a written writing a specification. Then what are the specification in the any software need that need to design and then architect them, and what are the feature in that software that all mentioned in a document, and that all need to design, and then develop the software application or system using appropriate programming language and technology. After that designing will turn done and approved by our customer and our manager, then we go for the coding. So in coding we use many programming language and some other technology that will help to build a software. After the designing part, after the designing part done, then coding and implementation will start. When the things will done on designing, then in coding we start writing the code, like and then efficient and then maintain the code. That all need to do, like using any programming language, either you go for the Python, Java, depend upon the client and depend upon the company which programming they are going to prefer, and then implement the algorithm logic to solve the problem or task, whatever there is a problem you are solving and any task you are solving using your software. So you have to use your algorithm. In that algorithm you can go the number of algorithm in there, like sorting algorithm, like linked list, like a stack, like a tree, that all you use that all algorithm to solve the problem. And then we can develop the both the front end user interface. Front end means the things will be seen by the user, and backend is server side and component of the application. Backend is like the server, what the their connection and what the they have connection behind the screen, that will the backend. So after the coding and implementation, we will move the next slide. So in next slide we have the testing and debugging. After the whole part of the coding done, and then we will move in the testing part and debugging part. So here we can conduct number of the testing, like we conduct the unit testing, then integration testing, then system testing to ensure the software function correctly, and then we identify the and troubleshoot and then fix the bug and issue the in the code. Like whatever the things we identify or any bug we identify during the testing, then we change the developer or they will try to fix all the bug, and then they will release the code. Perform code review to ensure the adherence to coding standard and best practice. So perform the code review, like they are follow the some standard or not, and they have some best practice of coding or not, that need to review by developer and client. Then maintain and support. Maintain existing software application by updating, enhancing, and modifying the feature. After the software developed, then it will deploy in the production environment, and then after software running fine, then we have the some support and maintenance team They mainly use to take care of the software, and they update like time to time. They update, modify the new feature. That all we do. Then provide technical support to user and address any issue that arise the post deployment. After the deployment is done, then if there any issue in the software, then that will come under the maintenance and support thing. Then we have ensure software accessible and secure and optimized for performance. Let's move the next slide. Develop, then there is a part of documentation. So in documentation, we have to create and maintain the documentation for software design, code, and user guide. Like we create the what the future we are using in that software, what the coding language we are using the software, what the code standard we are following. That will need to create after the creating the software, like a document. So whoever deploy, like whoever take your software, then they will get to understand by that document. Then document workflow, processes, data modeling to ensure the knowledge sharing and easy for maintenance. So like they all have the workflow of the software and the process and what the data module we are using, that need to write in the document. After that, we have the collaboration. So work with the cross-function team, like including the designing team, product manager, other developer to deliver the software solution. Then we need to work number of other team to deploy our software like solution very smoothly. So we have to contact the other designer team and product manager team and other developer, and who will going to support our backend, that and who will go to support other data module. That team need to be always communicate, and we have all meeting. Then participate in team meeting, then sprint planning and brainstorming session, that need to all meeting we have. And then collaborate with the stakeholder to gather a requirement and provide the program and update on the software. So we like week basis or after 2 day or daily basis, we have the meeting with the client, and then we gather the other requirement that will need to fulfill in software. So let's move the next slide. So like continuous learning is a path, like stay updated with the latest software development and trend technology and best practice, and then continue improving skill through new learning, programming language, tool, and framework. So now we will discuss the key skill required. So first is the programming language. So for that we can go for the Java, C++, C Hatch, and Python. Many other programming language we have for general purpose software development, often used in enterprise application. So that mainly Java. And then we go for the Python and Ruby for scripting and automation and data centric application. For that type of application we can use the Python or Ruby. And then we can go for the JavaScript for web development, both backend with framework like React and Angular, and backend with Node.js. That we can go. And then we have the Swift and Kotlin for mobile application development on iOS and Android. So for that we can go for the programming language that can Swift and Kotlin. So let's move the next slide. So and after that we have some methodology to develop the software. So first is the agile and a scrum. So here whatever iteratively development with frequently release and feedback loop. Like every time things will develop and it will deploy to customer, and then we get the feedback day by day, and then we'll try to improve and try to implement in that software. And second is the water flow. So sequentially development process often used in large and more structured projects. Like here we have the structure way of the project, like perfect structure of the designing, and then we have the phrase by phrase things we develop, and then we deploy in the production. And then we have the different type of framework and library, like for front-end developer we have the React, Angular, Vue.js for building dynamic user interface. And for backend, we have the Spring, DJ Go, Flask for server-side application. For mobile, we have the Flutter, React Native for cross-platform mobile application development that we can use. And then we have the different type of database like relational database, MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle for structured data storage. And then non-SQL database, MongoDB, Cassandra for handling the unstructured and semi-structured data. So that all tool we have during development of the our software. And then difference of the version control, like provisionally using the Git or platform like GitHub or GitLab for version control and collaboration. Like after the developing deployment will done, then that will the version one, and then any update will do in any software, so that will update new version. Like we can integrate the things in the GitLab or GitHub, and then it will develop the version v1 or v2, like that it will go in sequentially process. And then we have the for testing and debugging, knowledge of the testing framework like JUnit, Selenium, PyTest, that all mainly tool mainly used for the testing. And then for debugging, we have the experience with debugging tool like integrating into IDE like Visual Studio, Eclipse, IntelliJ IDEA, that all mainly software only that we mainly use to debug our code. And then API development and integration. So experience with the RESTful and SOP API for integrating third-party service or creating custom API. And the last is the software developer engineer cloud services. So now what happens in every company, every software are developing on the cloud. So we need to familiar with the different type of cloud like Google Cloud, AWS Cloud, Azure Cloud, and another Oracle Cloud, that all mainly provide us to services. So we need to familiar with other cloud also. And then DevOps practice. So here what happens, the understanding of CI and CD pipeline and containerization, Docker and orchestration Kubernetes. So like CI/CD pipeline means that continuous integration and continuous deployment. Like things will updated and it will going to deploy every day or weekly or monthly like that. So thank you for watching this video, and I mainly need your support to create this type of video.